There's a specific heartbreak that doesn't come from others. It happens in the moments you silence your no, when you break your own boundaries just to feel safe, when you abandon your truth to belong. If you have ADHD, especially as a woman, you've likely spent a lifetime trying to earn trust that was never given, while struggling to give it to yourself. This reading is not about fixing you. It's about remembering the part of you that never stopped believing in your return. Let's rebuild self-trust, not with urgency, but with reverence. Are you ready? Join me on this journey home to yourself. My name is Kayla, and this is Maiden Mother Crone Tarot, where we hold sacred space for women with ADHD. Today is day 7 of the 0303 challenge, where I'm showing up for 30 days to bring sacred messages of acceptance, of love, of truth for our own divine remembering. Today's topic is rebuilding trust with yourself. We're going to pull messages from the Maiden, the Mother, and the Crone spiritual archetypes. And I thought we would do something a little differently today. Today, I wanted to ask 5 different questions and pull a card for each question from each of the archetypes. So the first question is, where did the trust fracture for us as women with ADHD? Where did our trust fracture? The second question is, what parts of you still remembers your truth? What parts of you still remembers your truth? The third question, what does rebuilding trust look like right now? So what do we need to do? What steps do we have to take? The last question is, what will shift once self-trust is restored? And then our last question today is going to be a message from your higher self or a spirit guide, whichever you would choose. Just intend it in your heart while we're doing the reading, and that's where the message will come from. So I'm not going to read these questions again. I'm just going to invite each of the archetypes, pull the cards for this rebuilding trust with yourself. And then once we go through the actual reading, I will say the questions again. If you're like me, you probably don't remember. All right, so now we're working with the Maiden. Maiden, can you please give us guidance today on these 5 questions, along with our higher selves or spirit guides for number 5. We're asking for 5 cards to go through these questions that we've discussed. All right. So that's card 1, that's card 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. The next deck I'm going to work with is for the Mother. Mother, can you please give us 5 cards today on the questions we just discussed? Okay, there's the first one. Those just wanted to fly. And earlier, as I was pre-shuffling, working with the energy, sitting with the decks, the Mother's cards were flowing very freely, so I knew she wanted to come through today. Then the last energy or archetype we're going to work with is the Crone. Crone, can you please give us 5 cards today for these specific questions we have discussed on rebuilding trust for our ADHD collective of women today, please? 5 cards going over the questions that we discussed. Ooh. Okay. We're going to go ahead and do some grounding breaths real quick. So let's go ahead and breathe in for 6, hold for 6, breathe out for 6, and then hold for 6. We'll just do this once today. Are you ready? If you're wondering, I just do the box symbol to help you remember this is a box breathing exercise. So that's what all the hand motions are about. So our first question, or our first row of cards, where did the trust fracture? The maiden gave us the 6 of swords. I don't know if you can see this. So here we go. Oh, wow. The maiden and the crone both gave us the 6 of swords. I can pick these up. The mother gave us the 9 of pentacles. Here's the crone's card, 6 of swords. Where did the trust fracture? Where did we lose trust with ourselves? Okay, so what I'm seeing here is maybe there was a time in your life when you were moving from things going poorly. You were moving out of a bad situation, whether that's a bad job or a bad career or a bad relationship. You're moving from tumultuous waters, right? 6 of Swords is all about moving to calmer waters. The 9 of Pentacles is the self-made woman, right? She has built herself up. This is a Pentacles energy. This is grounded. This is something that she has tended to. She's gone through all the other cards, right? She's really made herself. And so the energy I'm getting from where did the trust fracture was there was a point in your life where you went from something that was really bad for you, really toxic, not great. And you were moving into this part of your life where you were building yourself up. You were building the life that you wanted, the life that you deserve. But in this process, there was some type of self-sabotage, some type of mental pattern with the swords energy here, where you didn't either believe that you deserved this happiness, this ideal life, or you didn't feel like you could hold it. A lot of times in energy where we talk about how you have to be prepared to hold what you're trying to manifest, right? If you have subconscious patterns in your mind that don't believe you're either worthy or can do it, right? That you think, oh, I'm just going to mess this up. That energy is not going to stay with you. It's not going to stay because it doesn't resonate. And so what I'm seeing here is that the trust fractured with yourself because you didn't believe that you were worthy of this. You didn't believe that you could move to this. You didn't believe you could hold the abundance. You could hold the life that you wanted. And then the crone gave us the 6 of swords again. And so while this is traditionally moving to calmer waters, what I see here is it's almost like you were moving the way you wanted to. And then because of your self-sabotage, you moved right back. You transitioned right back into the pattern. You fell right back into the loop of the way you used to live, the patterns you used to have, the habits that fed into this lack of belief that you were worthy, lack of belief that you could hold the manifestation, lack of belief that you could achieve great things, lack of belief that you could be yourself, right? The next question was, what part of you still remembers your truth? The maiden gave us the Knight of Swords. The mother gave us the Empress. Oh, I'd love to see that. This is the whole part of what we were just talking about. In the opening of this reading, I said, this is about finding the that never stop believing in you. And then the last card from this row is the World from the Crone. So what part of you still remembers? What part of you still remembers what your truth is? In this World card, there's a baby here, and then there's an eye up here. Every time I see this card, it reminds me of the cosmic womb, right? Infinite possibility, and how we are always conscious creators of our reality. The Maiden gave us the Knight of Swords, right? So this is a swift acting knight. This is maybe a time in your life where you didn't second guess yourself. You believed in yourself. You maybe didn't have as many responsibilities. Maybe you weren't an adult. Maybe you weren't a parent. Maybe life hadn't taken its toll on you yet. But there's a decisiveness, a movement, a real call to action here. And the Mother gave us, again, as I said, the Empress. So a time when you really nurtured yourself. You know, before I did, I guess we're going to have to do it now because the Empress came up, and it just, the way she's rubbing her belly, look, she's pregnant and she's rubbing her belly here. She has her hand on it. When I was thinking about today's live stream, something that I thought about was when I went to my quantum healing hypnosis session, and I was talking with my practitioner before the session. She asked me like a mini, one of the things she had me do when we talked about my life, the things that I'd gone through, there was something I went through in my early 20s, and I had a lot of shame and a lot of regret over a decision I made. And at the time, I thought it was the right decision. But the older I've gotten, the more I blamed myself, the more I said, no, that wasn't the right thing. You should have done this instead. But what she really helped me understand is that version of me, that version of Kayla, did the best she could do in that moment. And so she gave me a pillow and she said, I'm going to go get some water. I'm going to give you a minute and I want you to just hug yourself. Imagine this pillow is you and hug yourself and say, it's okay. You did the best you could. I don't blame you. You're fine. You're fine. So with the Empress holding her stomach here, it really reminds me of that softness, of being able to really just hold yourself and hold yourself without judgment. Then the Crone gave us the World. The World card is about cycles, right? The completion of a cycle. But as I said, with the cosmic womb there, and then also with the Empress being pregnant, there's this idea of birthing, this idea of universal, like something that's come with you across lifetimes, something that your soul, the deep knowing that we talked about, that your soul has. And again, your soul is this eye here. Your soul is this eye. It can see this version of you that's wanting to be born here, that's wanting to remember itself. This version of you that wants to come back and emerge from the rubble of where you buried it, that wants to remember that you can show up for yourself. You can nurture yourself with this Empress here. The next question we had, what does rebuilding trust look like right now? Rebuilding trust with ourselves, right? The Maiden gave us the Eight of Swords. This is a common card in all of our readings across the different spiritual archetypes. And again, I can understand why, because we are all our own conscious creators, right? We have the power within us, within our mental faculties, to create the lives around us. The Mother gave us the Eight of Pentacles. And the Crone gave us the Star. What does rebuilding trust look like right now? Well, first of all, It starts with our own thoughts about this, right? We have to stop believing that we're going to not show up for ourselves. We have to stop believing that we are not going to trust ourselves. We have to stop believing that we're going to not be able to hold this, right? We talked about this at the beginning, that we won't be able to hold this pattern of behavior where we do believe in ourselves, where we do show up for ourselves, where we trust ourselves because we know we're never going to abandon ourselves again. And then with the mother giving us the Eight of Pentacles, she's saying this is going to be a continuous work. We're going to have to keep showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up, right? Don't expect to undo a lifetime of programming in one day, in 1 week, in 1 month. You have to keep showing up, keep examining the thoughts that you have, the thoughts that are telling you that you're not good enough, that you're not going to be able to keep showing up for yourself, that you're not brave enough to be you. Keep challenging those beliefs. And then the crone finishes with the star so beautifully. The star is hope. Hope. Healing, right? This soul trust that you have had, whether that's in a past life, a parallel life, everything's happening at the same time anyway, right? So how can you look? Does it mean you need to go into meditation? Do you need to go into a meditative state and in yourself as this person who believes in themselves, who doesn't let other people over them, who speaks up, speaks their truth, knows their soul truth? I know you can do it. Your soul knows you can do it. But you have to maintain the hope that even if something happens and you fall short, say there's a conflict, or say there's, somebody wants you to pick up an extra shift at work and you really don't want to, but you agree. It's okay. This is a non-judgmental space. Like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. But the first thing you can do is bring awareness to the situation and say, hey, this isn't in alignment with what I'm trying to do with my life. So next time this happens, I'm going to be intentional. I'm going to say, actually, I can't pick up that shift. I'm really sorry. I know I'm normally the one that does this for you, but I can't do it this time. Just accept yourself where you are. And then the fourth question. Oh, I really love what's coming up with this. What will shift once self-trust is restored? So the maiden gave us the Magician, one of my favorite cards. And we're talking about being a conscious creator of our lives, right? That's exactly what the Magician is. The Magician has all of the tools, all of the elements, right? Air, mental energy; earth, groundedness, actual in this physical reality. We have fire, the will, the drive, the purpose. And then we have the cup, right? That emotional balance, that emotional stability. So whenever you are able to rebuild self-trust, you're going to step into this Magician energy. Oh man, these cards are beautiful. The Magician energy where you no longer question your ability. You know you will be able to create this reality. And it's not even a timing thing at that point. It's a knowing, a deep soul knowing that you're on the right path, that you're doing the right things, that you're going to show up for yourself and it's going to be okay. That everything is going to be attracted to you, that needs to be attracted to you. The Mother then gives us the Four of Wands. This is the celebration card, you guys. Celebration. Look, they're dancing here. We have the sun up in the top. There's so many butterflies here. The transformation that's going to take place in your life. The joy, the freedom of expression here, and the movement. This creative soul dance that they're doing here. Have you ever celebrated yourself? Have you ever celebrated yourself? If not, maybe that's a great exercise to add into this. Whenever you are able to accomplish something that's rebuilding this self-trust, whatever it is, it doesn't matter how small it is. Whenever you're able to achieve it, celebrate it. Write it down. Tell someone about it. If you don't have anybody to tell about it, tell me in the comments below, please, because I will celebrate it with you. I will. These actions you're taking, one small step after the next. It may not seem like it does a lot, but if you show up every day for yourself, the change that you can make in just a year is it's life-changing, really. Honestly, just I'm just so excited to see what shows up after these 30 days of messages. That's how much just showing up for yourself in a small way can really change things. And then the crone has given us the Three of Pentacles. What will shift once self-trust is restored? The Three of Pentacles is collaboration, working with others. You see this? When you have that trust in yourself, when you know you're never going to abandon yourself, it opens you up to be able to work with other people because you're no longer afraid that you're going to be left to dry or you're going to be abandoned, that you're going to be betrayed. Because even if that happens, even if someone acts in that way, you understand you're never going to betray yourself. You're never going to hurt yourself. You're never going to leave yourself behind again, right? And so that opens up the door to be able to work with others, to be able to impact others around you. We talked about this a little bit last night, how it ripples out into everybody around you. Changing yourself, stepping into your authenticity, it ripples out, causing lasting impact. And then the last question we got, question 5, which I told you to pick whether you wanted it from your higher self or a spirit guide. The first card we got is the Strength card. You have the strength already. And if you need it, just tap in. Tap into that future version of yourself, as I talked about earlier with this visualization exercise. Ask for help. Pray. Speak to your ancestors. You can also ask for help in the community. Comment below. We want to help each other here. We're here to help each other. You also got the Three of Pentacles for the next card from your higher self or your spirit guide. That's also what the crone gave us, right? So that's the 3 again. In this depiction, there is like a weaving. It's very collaborative. So what I just said about if you need help, this 3 of Pentacles is talking about that as well. Don't feel like you have to do this alone. You can do this with other people. And then the last card you got is the Ace of Pentacles. The groundedness in this card. You're planting something that's going to impact the rest of your life. It's going to grow. It's going to spread. It's going to expand. I have no doubt that self-trust can be restored. Like I said, it's going to be work, but you don't have to do it alone. I'm with you in spirit. I can be with you in the comments. Or if you want, you can reach out to me in the description box and I can be with you in person. Sending love and light to anyone that's open to receive it. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you so much for joining me today, you guys. What a beautiful message. I invite you to like this video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the other readings we're going to do for the next 30 days. And always remember, come as you are and stay as you become. Bye, my friends.